You know how some carriers give you so little for your older busted phone you just end up living with it? I don't think so. Verizon lets you trade in your broken phone for a shiny new one. You break it, we upgrade it.
You dunk it, doggy bone it.
Slam it, wham it, strawberry jam it. We upgrade it.
Get a 5G phone on us with select plans.
Every customer, current, new, or business.
Because everyone deserves better.
And with plans starting at just $35, better costs less than you think.
All right, folks, we are firm believers on this show when it comes to African Americans being involved in technology. And Isaac Hayes III has created an app called FanBase, which allows for tech creators to be able to content creators to be able to get paid from their fans. That's what FanBase. And so they're involved right now in a $2.5 million crowdfunding phase right now. And this is the video that he actually dropped earlier today. They've only been live about 24 hours. Watch this. Line right now to pull him up, talk about this investment here. But Robert, he's based out of Atlanta, and one of the things that he keeps saying to people is the need and the desire to actually for us to be involved as funders, because unfortunately, Black people, we're real good at using apps, we're real good at downloading them, but we ain't the ones who get paid from it.
And look, I've actually known Isaac Hayes III for years, going back to back when I used to work on some music things back in the mid 2000s. So I'm glad to see him working on this project. And quite frankly, let's think back about a year or so. TikTok was a brand new app that nobody had really heard of. And then during the pandemic, Black people started putting dance routines on there that white people picked up on, and they went viral. Did any of those Black creators get rich off of that? Now TikTok has surpassed Google to be the most popular web application in the world, on the planet, on Earth. That is driven by Black people setting these trends and creating this, content on these platforms. You can look at Black Twitter, for example. How much money is Jack Dorsey getting from the creativity of the Black hive mind on Black Twitter? Why are we putting all this money and all this content on other people's platforms in order to make them rich when we're getting nothing out of it but likes and follows and some shares, when we really should be working our way into the billionaire space on Mars? And on this point of crowdfunding and becoming investors in startups, I think a lot of people don't quite understand how the process works. That a company like Facebook doesn't just appear out of nowhere. They have to go through an initial funding round in order to get off the ground, and then you get your money back by being one of those investors on the ground once you pick the right horse. And that there are angel investors out there who put money all over the place just to make sure that in case it does pop off, that they're in the advantageous situation to be able to take off with it. And once I think we get that mindset, we get that level of education, that we understand the way that money is made in the 21st century, that is when we start moving from just being rich to being wealthy and having generational wealth. As my friend Bruce says, Black generational wealth has to be the goal that we're all working towards. And a big portion that's going to be in that tech space.
Isaac joins us right now. Isaac, glad to have you back on the show. Look, I'm one of the folks who invested in FanBase, and one of the things that you did is you made it perfectly clear you were not trying to just go out and get institutional investors. You wanted regular, everyday people to be able to invest. The minimum amount they can invest is $250. You posted earlier today, hey folks, pass up buying that pair of athletic shoes and actually buy shares in a tech company.
Yes, indeed. I mean, we spend an exorbitant amount of money on a lot of things that we love and enjoy, but because of the Jobs Act and wiping out that accredited investor rule, it allows people to actually have equity in companies that normally you wouldn't have access to. And in the realm of social media, we understand the importance of youth culture and Black culture mainly, what contributes to the rise and the growth of these platforms, turning them into multi-billion-dollar corporations, but we don't have any equity in them. So that's the reason why FanBase exists, why the platform exists. We just launched our second raise on Start Engine. We're raising $2.6 million in a new round. You can go to startengine.com/fanbase and actually have some shares in the company. I encourage everybody to do that. But yeah, it's time to really have equity in infrastructures that we innovate, per se, in the Black community, especially in youth culture.
Okay, now explain what a second round of funding means. Explain that.
That just means it's a second opportunity to invest in the company at a higher, slightly higher valuation. We raised $3.5 million at a $20 million valuation. Since then, FanBase's user base has grown 1,000%. Our profits are 999%. And so now the valuation of the company is 50 million. You got to think about companies like Facebook that are worth 900 billion, right? They didn't start out at $900 billion companies. A company like Instagram that's worth 200 billion. They started out with $500,000 in seed capital back in 2010. So you got to understand that the people that got in on that company very, very early are now multimillionaires, if not billionaires, because they got along for the ride very, very early. And once the platform was acquired by Facebook, they saw an opportunity to exit, or if they kept their stock and then joined along with Facebook, they're very wealthy people now. So that's what you need to consider.
One of the points that I talked about when we opened this segment is that we are real good at using these apps and making other people successful. I'm gonna use example Clubhouse. You and I talk about this all the time. It was all the rage in 2020. In 9 months from launch, somebody offered them, or I think around $3 or $4 billion. Black folks made the app sexy. They made it hot.
Those conversations continue to happen on Clubhouse, right? And so from time to time, I think as people learn about FanBase, which is the only platform, the audio platform currently that allows any user to actually receive revenue from people listening to you talk while you're on stage, the opportunity to actually accept revenue, people are learning about that. But yeah, Clubhouse went from a company that raised $10 million at $100 million valuation to a company that has raised in excess of $300 million at a $4 billion valuation in a year. And it mainly came off the conversation and the energy of Black people being on the platform. We had Kevin Hart come on the platform to go viral. We had, they had 21 Savage go on the platform to go viral. We had Meek Mill Academics, Tekashi 6ix9ine, Youngboy. Youngboy went on Clubhouse maybe about 3 weeks ago and shot it all the way up to the top of the App Store because his fans came on the platform just to hear him speak. And again, Youngboy doesn't have equity in Clubhouse. And so he increased the value of the company just by being there. And it's what we do. We take our clapbacks to Twitter. We take our dances to TikTok. We take our skits to Instagram. And we take our conversations to Clubhouse, and we don't own any of these platforms. And so owning the infrastructure is extremely important, but for every user around the platform, FanBase is a Black-owned tech startup, but it's not Black only. We are in 170 countries worldwide. I encourage everybody to make a page and a profile and start posting your content, but monetizing your content at the same time, which is the focus of the platform.
So walk us through exactly what is on FanBase. What is it? You can post. You can post photos. You can post videos. What else can you do?
You can post photos and videos. You can go live. The live is monetized. So those hearts that float up on the side on IG don't mean anything, but when people tap that love icon on FanBase when you go live, you make half a penny per love. And those loves add up because you can like content and love content. We have audio rooms, like I said, like Clubhouse and Twitter Spaces. We have long form content up to 1 hour, like YouTube, and formerly IGTV, that allows you to put long form content behind paywalls. So you, in essence, are your own Netflix. You can monetize your content and people can subscribe directly to you. And we're building and launching our own version of short form video similar to TikTok and Reels called Flicks coming in January. We're rebuilding stories. which will have the exclusive functionality as well. So you can put your stories behind a paywall too and gain subscribers in that fashion, new DMs and a new version of direct voice. And we're raising the price of a subscription from $3.99 to $4.99 a month. So that's more money in your pocket as a creator and a user on the platform.
So you talked about so when you talk about those audio chat rooms, so Twitter has Spaces, Clubhouse, that's what it is. So essentially, versus I forgot the rapper you mentioned who took all of his fans over to Clubhouse. He did that. Well, I don't know if he even got paid for that. What you're saying is guys like that, they could actually have those same conversations on FanBase, bring all their fans over, and actually get paid off of those discussions.
Yes, and with this new version of direct voice that we have, we're opening up exclusive rooms as well. So your subscribers are the only ones that could join the conversation. And so, I mean, there's a value to the information that we give. I mean, I don't think that, people that sit on Clubhouse and give away free game all day, it's great. You get a following. And I think that's what people buy into, the fact that your following is not as important as your fan base. And that's the thing about it. That 5% of people that follow you are those people that will actually pay for the information that you have, pay for your celebrity, pay for your content, no matter what you do. And that's what people focus on. It just takes 50,000 people paying you $2 a month for you to make $1.2 million a year. I know people with 2 and 3 million followers that can't pay their bills. So a following is insignificant if you don't have access to that. And on platforms like Instagram, you do not have access to your entire following. They are not going to give you full content visibility, because if they did, these brands that pay them for ads would not pay the platform, they would pay you, and that goes against their business model. So they're actually in competition with their users to actually make revenue off the content.
Explain that, because you do a lot of videos where you lay that out, where you'll show somebody with 1 million followers on Instagram, and when they go live, they barely get any interaction. I mean, it's just, I can tell you, I've got, let's see here. If I go to Instagram, I've got 626,000 followers. If I go live, I went live the other day. I think it peaked at 248, which is actually a high number. But the reality is, a lot of times you go live, and after about 5 or 10 minutes, I think that may go down to like 105, maybe 100, whatever. So what people don't realize is they're controlling who they're notifying. I can tell you that right now. We're live right now on Facebook, Instagram. First of all, the Black Star Network, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. And right now, and I've been, trust me, I've been slanging and banging with Facebook on this for quite some time. Right now, I'm on our Facebook page. Why is it not showing me the numbers right now? I doubt, seriously, Keenan, put it. I can't see it right now, but put it in the chat. Tell me how many people. We probably do 230, 235 people watching our Facebook page. Well, I got 1.3 million Facebook followers. We know for a fact that our followers are not getting notified when we go live, because Keenan, who handles my digital stuff, he doesn't even get a live notification. And he's the one who presses the button when we go live. So they are purposely suppressing our numbers because they want us to pay Facebook to pay to boost to people who already follow me.
Yeah, well, let me give a high level example of that. Ariana Grande has 280 million followers on Instagram. 5% of her following is 14 million people. At the same time, 14 million people watch Sunday Night Football on NBC every Sunday, and brands paid $500,000 for 30 seconds to be in front of 14 million people. What do you think a brand would pay Ariana Grande if she went live and 14 million people showed up to her live and she could talk about their product? They pay her millions of dollars to do that. And so again, Instagram and Facebook don't want the brands to go directly to the users. They want the brands to go to them so they can run ads and make money. So what they tell you is to trick the algorithm, post more content. But what that does is it puts a sea of content that gives them more places to run ads in between and make more money. So they're in competition with their user base because they're never going to. Ariana Grande got 280 million followers. They're not sending out 280 million notifications when she goes live, because if those people pull up to watch her, she can tell them, buy my album, buy my concert ticket, go buy this product, go see this movie, whatever it is. And that goes against their business model. And so they're definitely not ever going to do anything like that.
So on FanBase, when you build your fans, so when you go live, FanBase notifies all of your followers.
Absolutely. Every single time. Yeah. We want that because if you make money, we make money. We want the user to actually make money. We want people to love your. I went live on FanBase today for like a few minutes, and I've gone live and made $230 in less than 30 minutes going live on FanBase. And I think that's the difference. It's the ability for users to actually be able to receive revenue. There is no mechanism to freely give money to people, every single user on Instagram or Facebook. Some people have badges, some people don't. If you do something funny, they take away your monetization. They stop you from being able to go live. They do all these things that purposely limit your ability to reach your following. I have 108,000 followers. As a matter of fact, I did an exercise by using the platform for like 2 weeks, right? And I reached 482,000 accounts in between December 10th and December 16th. And my reach went up 722%, but also my revenue on Instagram went up 3,516%, and I made a whopping 72 cents. So they're not even paying you for your fair value for the content you create. So
well, and a lot of people don't understand how these things work. So for instance, I had somebody who just hit me up, and people they say, hey, Roland, we like live chatting on your show, on Facebook as well as on YouTube. Well, we're working with Vimeo for our Black Star Network app. They don't have the live chat function. They have where you could post a comment, but like I just got a notification, but it's not live chatting. And I just told her we're working with them to integrate that, because we told them that our users like to be able to do that chat while the show is live. And once we do that, then I'll be taking our show off of Facebook. We make way more money, frankly, from Roland Martin Unfiltered on YouTube than we do on Facebook. But it's understanding the pros and cons of the platforms, and you got to make a decision based upon, again, your business model in terms of how you use it. And so that's one of the reasons we do that. Let me go to Scott, then Robert. There are questions about FanBase. Scott, go ahead.
Y'all have me on. Okay, you unmuted me. All right. I want to get back to the investor portion, because African Americans, young and old, are great consumers. Sometimes by some accounts, $1 billion, sometimes trillions of dollars in consumerism. So there's this culture of consumerism, and yet you make the case that instead of buying these shoes, you could invest in FanBase through this crowdfunding process. And I completely agree with you. But given the culture of consumerism by so many of us in the communities of color, how do you get them to get really excited about investing in FanBase now versus just picking up followers and putting on content and getting kind of the emotional satisfaction of having a lot of followers and putting out good content? I think it's a tough sell, not because you're not right, but a tough sell because so many of us are risk averse, and we are just having this culture of consumerism.
No, that's not what it is.
To that issue.
No, it actually is not consumerism or risk averse. It's white validation.
No, call it what you want. Anyway,
I'm gonna call it what it is. I mean, because I'm gonna tell you. And I'm gonna tell you. I've had people go, "Oh, I tried to use FanBase. It had this problem, that problem." Mm-hmm. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all had glitches.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
They would do updates. Isaac, you had to walk people through this here. The reality is when it's something when they find out, if Isaac probably would be further along if he didn't come out and show that he's black. But there are people out there, Isaac, reality, who go, yeah, man, brother, his stuff ain't working. And I'm like, but y'all still on Clubhouse still got glitches.
Yep.
Isaac, go ahead.
I think ice is colder too.
To answer your question, you have to give them the information. I think the ability to invest in a startup only existed as a non-accredited investor since 2013. So we've only known about this, and then it took a while for platforms like Start Engine to actually become mechanisms that people could invest. And then you show people the value of what people have already been getting as accredited investors for years, for 83 years that you haven't been. So I usually tell people all the time that there is an accredited investor that put $5,000 into Uber in 2010. And when it IPO'd in 2019, that $5,000 was worth $24 million. Now, you know how many people I know with 5Gs that spend $5,000 at a section at a nightclub? Or, they'll spend $5,000 gambling in Vegas. Or
right, I was about to say that. I was about to say
they'll buy lottery tickets, but you never have the opportunity to. So to know that there's a platform like Start Engine and a platform like FanBase that you can go right now and invest in, and you don't have to put $5,000. $250 is a very low threshold to be able to invest in the platform. That is a pair of Jordans, right? My phrase that I've been using, like I said, is don't buy shoes, buy shares. And I think you can take 1 week and say, instead of going and buying a pair of tennis shoes, or instead of going to spend, hitting Ruth Chris and getting steak and wine, and I'm gonna chew it up and poop it out, I'm gonna spend that. I'm gonna put that and invest that into a startup. And I mean, there are benefits to that because you're creating. We can actually literally control the value of a startup like FanBase by simply investing and moving our content there. And secondly, platforms like Instagram and Clubhouse were heavily funded from the beginning. Like the moment that Clubhouse was able to actually accept capital, they got $10 million with only about 2,500 users, right? We're well over 160,000 users on FanBase. And I haven't gone to venture capital. I went to the people because I know that the people are the only reason that we're going to be successful with the platform and offer that economic opportunity and that opportunity to invest to them. That's the key.
Yeah, excellent. Roland, the other thing they'll say.
Yeah, go ahead.
The other thing they'll say is that, well, Roland, how much money are you making off of it? Or Isaac, how much money are you making off of it? They will count brothers' money, even though they haven't invested in it whatsoever. We got this self-hate thing going on too that we got to fight. But
look, man, I had somebody post on Twitter. I got some fool who's always doing videos about me on YouTube, always criticizing, talking about Roland be having begathons. No, because guess what? We don't actually. And see, here's the hilarious part: we don't charge anybody for our content. The people who join our Bring the Funk fan club, they actually give on their own free volition. We don't even send hats and T-shirts and jackets and stuff because that swag costs money. The money goes back into the show. But here's the deal that always cracks me up. It's amazing the people who spend their time whining about what I do. I don't watch them. I don't watch them. I don't talk about them. I don't care what they do. If y'all want to watch them and listen to them, and if they want to showcase their bad lace fronts or they want to hide behind a microphone, go right ahead. I don't care what they do. I'm over here doing my thing. And I think that's the whole deal. We got to get out of that as well. And so for the people who say, well, FanBase should be this, should be that, this is real simple. You could either be real about supporting Black owned, or you could just talk about it. There's a whole bunch of folks fronting. Robert, go ahead.
Thank you so much, Roland. So I think all of us who are in even tangentially in content creation have understood the tyranny of the algorithm, that basically YouTube changes the formula whenever they feel like it for what actually makes it onto the front page and what things are prioritized. Same thing with Facebook. Now they have content tags and everything else where they can demonetize the video at any given point in time. How will FanBase be different when it comes to allowing more freedom to content creators and not simply prioritizing what they want when they want for actual promotion?
I think first and foremost, the fact is that I don't like the word content creator because every single person on social media is a content creator. It's users. And so the first thing you do is give the ability for every single user on the platform to make money. That's first and foremost. So anybody can monetize on FanBase. It doesn't matter if it's me, you, whoever. You can sign up today, create a page on FanBase, engage with the community, start creating content, and charge for it, as you should charge for your content. Because again, if you have a following, and I tell this all the time, it's the most efficient thing to do is to try to build a business off a following. You build a business off a fan base, off a customer base, right?
Yep.
If people had to give away their products for free, right? If McDonald's had to give away free hamburgers and French fries until somebody around the country said these are the best fries and hamburgers in the world and it went viral, they would have never been the company that they are. You have to sell your product from the moment that you put it out. So free is not the way that works. Now, free is a marketing strategy to convert those people into paid subscribers. And I think an important stat that we recognize is that in 2020, 53% of all in-app purchases were recurring. So we are in the subscription era, whether people know it or not. So that's like you subscribe to Netflix and Hulu, you subscribe to Spotify and Apple Music, you subscribe to Microsoft Word, you subscribe to Adobe Premiere Pro, you subscribe to the apps that you edit your photos with. And so the last place that everybody gives away their content for free and are not using the subscription model is social media. Every other media on the planet, TV, movies, music, content development or organization are all free. But social media is a place where people are not, and they understand that the true economic engine of the platform is the user, right? And so when the user doesn't have an opportunity to monetize, the only person that does is the platform. And I tell people that all the time. I say people complain on Clubhouse all the time that Clubhouse doesn't do anything to help the users monetize. I was like, Clubhouse took $300 million. Clubhouse is not trying to figure out how to help you monetize. Clubhouse is trying to figure out how to monetize you. Once they figure that out, then they can say, now we can offer you the ability to monetize, but they're not going to give that to everybody because once they figure out their method to monetize, then they have to keep that mechanism going. And that might go against their business model to allow the user to monetize. So that's the long and short of it is we're not going to throttle down your content. We're not going to ban people because of content that they post that as long as it doesn't go against our guidelines, because we're not beholden to advertisers. Advertisers don't dictate how we run our platform. Advertisers dictate how Instagram is run, how Facebook is run, because they can pull their ad dollars at any time that they feel like they don't want anything on the platform that doesn't go against their brand. So they say, turn it down, throttle it down, suppress it, run our ads. And when we're done running our ads, you can turn that stuff. We can turn the Black Lives Matter back up. You can turn the LGBTQ back up. You can turn the hip hop back up. But for now, we want our ads to reach the audience that we want them to reach.
All right. So you've already raised $150,000. Tell people where they can go to get more information about investing in FanBase.
Startengine.com/fanbase. I think we've raised, a little over $160,000 in 24 hours. We're raising $2.6 million. I would say invest sooner than later because doing great programs like these spikes in investment. And I think that's an opportunity that everybody should take advantage of while the opportunity exists. Once the raise reaches its max, we close and there's no longer an opportunity to invest. If you have time to do so, go to startengine.com/fanbase and grab some shares in an early stage tech startup that you can see grow and develop into a mega monster of a media company.
And you said in the first round, the valuation was $20 million. This round, the valuation is $50 million, which means the next one, it could be very well over $100 million. So, folks, go there. Again, as I said, I got no problem saying it. I invested in the last round. I believe in supporting building our own platforms. That's why we actually did this show. Same thing. We created this tech segment. I appreciate Verizon coming on as a sponsor for us to be able to feature African Americans who are in the tech space, who otherwise couldn't get on Squawk Box, couldn't get on Bloomberg and these other networks unless they became billion-dollar companies. And so we want to help them get there. Everybody who's watching is 132 of y'all. It's a perfect example. There are 132 people on Facebook watching right now, and we have 1.3 million followers on Facebook. That shows you how how they throttle our numbers. But again, we've got nearly 1,600 on YouTube. We probably got more than 1,000 on Black Star Network app right now. Folks, download the FanBase app. Follow me, follow Isaac, and I can't wait till as they keep developing it, where we can actually create the RTMP and send our feed over to the FanBase app for y'all to watch over there. Isaac, we appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much for having me. I appreciate it, guys.
Folks, Black Star Network is here.
I'm real revolutionary right now.
Support this man, Black Media. He makes sure that our stories are told.
Thank you for being the voice of Black America, Roland.
Stay black. I love y'all.
All momentum we have now, we have to keep this going.
The video looks phenomenal.
See, this difference between Black Star Network and Black-owned media and something like CNN.
You can't be Black-owned media and be scared.
It's time to be smart.
Bring your eyeballs home.
You dig?